Hello, welcome to the Talent Channel. As usual, I'm going to be discussing everything talent management. And today I will be talking about a very interesting report, the State of the Organizations 2023. This report has just come out. It's a quite a comprehensive document, lots of research terminology being used there. So I will be dissecting this report with you guys and talking a little bit about the most important aspects of this report. So I know you are very busy um, in this time period, coming close to the end of the financial year. So you don't have to go through the whole report. I will be dissecting it and we'll be discussing it together. So this report was conducted by McKinsey and Co in the period 2022-2023, at the time of a lot of changes in the global environment. As you're aware, inflation has hit most of the first world countries at that time. There was a bullwhip effect when it comes to the labor market force, where the demand and supply was not being matched, and that incorporated or amounted to an increase in wages across the globe, which a lot of people have been talking about wage inflation, um, coupled with that, low unemployment rates in a lot of countries around the world. And so, all these changes at that time, McKinsey approached about 2,500 leaders, CEOs, and heads of functions and directors of different companies around the world, um, and conducted this comprehensive report. So, today, we will talk about the findings of this report and what impact it has on the organization. Not only the organization, but also you as potential employees and candidates for jobs, but also currently working in different organizations. How can you prepare yourself for the new world of work that is coming up in the next couple of years? So the report comes up with what they call 10 shifts that are transforming organizations. Those are like the pillars of areas of focus. So, as you can see on the screen here, increasing speed, strengthening resilience, through hybrid workforce, the remote workforce. What is it exactly? What are people expecting, and what are organizations expecting? 2024 and beyond. Um, Massive change as a result of the impact of AI on a lot of jobs, but also on a lot of organizations. Um, a lot has come out of this report regarding attracting talent, retaining talent, and also the impact of attrition, the global resignation, as we call it. Um, Also, closing the capability chasm, walking the talent tightrope, leadership that is self aware and inspiring, making meaningful progress on diversity, equity, and inclusion, mental health, investing in a portfolio of interventions, obviously with COVID and the impact on the workforce and the new organizations. There's been a lot to talk about when it comes to mental health, and also obviously efficiency. A lot of this is not new. Organizations have been grappling with this for decades, and people within organizations have also been working on how they can best position themselves in the organization so they can perform well and they can be recognized and rewarded for their efforts. However, there are lots of talking points in 23-24. So what I will do is I will take a deep dive in each of those shifts, um, and every week I will be coming up with one episode where we actually tackle um, each shift one at a time. So I will try and bring on some guests so we can sort of get viewpoints from different people um, that are interested in the topic. But today, let's take a deep dive in the first one, which is the resilience, the new organization, and how it has to adapt and has to be resilient in the face of massive changes that can come across. So this part of the report, one of the biggest shift is dealing with serial crises and the ability to bounce forward out of them quickly. Um, People talk about failing and failing fast. In other words, learning from failure and also making sure that the organization is adapting to change. This is not new. A lot of people will say, "Well, we've always been dealing with that." However, in the last decade alone, the world has experienced some cataclysmic kind of change. We have had the financial crisis at the period 2007 2009. After that, the pandemic, and in between that, a lot of multiple changes in the global landscape that has shaken a lot of organizations. So, what this report finds out that in this in the business environment today, which is fast moving, uh, very interdependent and complicated, people by and large understand the importance of being resilient. In fact, 60% of the respondents in the State of the Organization survey have reported that it is going to be quite an important aspect of the organization going into the future. A lot is regarding organizations that are prepared for being able to withstand those shocks, will obviously be in a better position to capture the opportunities that come out of these changes. Why are some of the organizations not in a position to define themselves as being adaptive or resilient? Some of it's got to do with funds, limited funds available within organizations. A lot has to do with having unclear priorities and direction, and this is very common, where leaders think in one direction and they want the organization to be resilient in a certain way, but the rest of the organization don't are not following suit. There's a lot of isolated initiatives in a lot of organizations. In my experience, I have found that a lot of silos are set up, a lot of initiatives are set up within silos, and those initiatives don't talk to each other, and we don't learn from those mistakes that are being committed in all these different initiatives. There is a limited organizational buy-in in the sense that people within the organizations themselves are not convinced that the initiatives being taken by the organizations are actually really going to prepare us to withstand the next couple of shocks coming through. People know that they will be facing shocks. Organizations know that they will be facing shocks. However, there is a lack of resonance within the organization in terms of how well can we prepare ourselves to face those shocks. And again, there is the report found out that there was a lot of differences, in fact, dramatic differences between hierarchy levels and functions. So coming back to the point where the leaders and the board might be thinking or might be pushing the organization in a certain direction when it comes to it comes to being resilient, but the reality is completely different when you talk to the people, the staff members working at different levels of the organizations. So, what are the solutions that can be put forward? The first one talked mention has a big mention in the report is give power to the people. This comes back to one of my previous videos where we were talking about autonomy and how when we give autonomy to people and let them make their decisions and give them ability or the freedom to manage the way the work is performed. Um, it has not only a positive impact on the morale and the performance of people, but it also gives us the ability to prepare our organizations to the next shocks that are coming through in the next couple of years. The report also talks about some very obvious stuff like eliminating unnecessary meetings, making our jobs a little bit more efficient, events, travel, creating a little bit more, as I said, efficiency between the work that we're doing and also the impact that we are seeing on a daily basis with regards to our performance. And also in terms of solutions, to promote organizations with resilient people, we need to be able to promote adaptable leaders who don't just react to adversity, but also prepare themselves in advance and train their people to be in a position to face adversity. A lot of companies use a certain concept called business continuity management, whereas whereby in business continuity management they are talking about emergency situations, crises that may arise. For example, a cyber attack that may happen and how do we prepare ourselves? What contingency plans do we have? And they term this business continuity management. I think this has to be something we look into also in terms of the skills of the people. How adaptable are they? How agile is the organization? And if it is not agile, how do we create structures within the organization so we can be more agile and be less prone to having massive changes affecting the organization, and as a result, affecting jeopardizing the future of the organization from an economical point of view. That's it for today. This is just the first one, the first deep dive into the first shift that is part of the State of the Organizations Report 2023. In the next couple of weeks, I will be taking a deep dive in all the other shifts 2, 3, up to 10. And as I said, I'll be bringing on some guests so we can also talk about it and share different point of views. So all you got to do is subscribe to the Talent channel on YouTube, and you will be notified of future recordings that will be coming through.